Good evening. This is the news on Mirror Now. I'm Kavita Krishnan. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. No end to the unrest in Darjeeling. Violent protests continue in the hill town. Supply of food and essential services disrupted, even as the Mamata government engages in blame game. Mirror Now accesses the chilling confession of the main accused in the Ballabgarh lynching case. Accused reveals how Junaid and others were attacked in the name of religion. Poverty-hit mother sells her newborn baby for 5,000 rupees. Baby traced by police and shifted to the hospital. An 8-year-old allegedly raped in a children's park in New Delhi. The 32-year-old accused nabbed by the police. Major breakthrough in actor Kritika Chaudhary murder case. Mumbai police arrest 2 people. Coach of the Indian cricket team to be announced soon. The final list for the post comes down to 6 names now. The legends panel of Sachin Tendulkar, Saurav Ganguly and VVS Lakshman will take the final decision today. Air India stops serving non-vegetarian meals to economy class passengers on all domestic flights from mid-June this year. This move by the national carrier is to cut wastage and costs and to avoid mix-up of vegetarian with non-vegetarian meals. An 8-year-old girl was allegedly raped at a children's park in Kamla Market in Delhi and then threatened against speaking up. The accused went to the park with the victim and his own children and allegedly raped the minor there. The 32-year-old man has now been arrested by the Delhi police. Apurva sends me a full report.
In a horrific incident, a man allegedly raped an 8-year-old girl in Kamla Market area of New Delhi while his own teenage daughter was playing in a nearby park in that area. The incident took place on Friday evening when a man who works as a cleaner in the toilet in the nearby area was out with his teenage daughter at a local park, and he lured this particular 8-year-old victim to an unused open gym in that park and allegedly sexually abused her. He also threatened the victim to kill her if she opened her mouth to her parents. The victim went home crying, and only after her parents tried to find out what happened, she revealed and she narrated the entire ordeal. Soon after that, the parents contacted the police, and the police have nabbed this particular accused and have booked him under POCSO Act. In New Delhi, this is Apurva Sridhar for Mirror Now.
मेरे को पार्क में ले गए, सारे बच्चों के साथ खेल रही थी, तो उस लड़के ने इसको अकेले में ले गया। करी मम्मी पता नहीं ये क्या कर रहा था मेरे साथ बदतमीजी, तो मैं चिल्लाई पड़ी, तो इसको धमकी दे दी कि मैं तेरे को मार दूंगा, तू अपने माँ बाबू को मत बताइए। अपने बच्चों को भी ले गया साथ में, मेरे बच्चों को भी ले गया घुमाने के लिए। अच्छा, घुमाने के लिए ले गया। चलो झूला झूला के ला रहा हूँ तुम्हें।
ओपन जिम है, उसके अंदर उसने जलील हरकतें करने की कोशिश की, बट मैंने फिर जैसे ही मेरे को बच्ची ने आवाज़ खोली तो उसको डराया धमकाया गया कि हम तेरे को मार देंगे, जला देंगे अगर अपने माँ बाप को बता दोगे, किसी के कमरे में ले जाके बंद करूँगा, तेरे को आग लगा दूंगा, जला दूंगा। तो बच्चा जो है डर गया, तो डरी हुई थी, तो बड़ी मुश्किल से उसको खाना पीना खिलाया। डरा, उसकी माँ को बोला मैंने प्यार से, पूछो क्या बताती है ये, कोई चोट नहीं है, ये कोई घाव नहीं है, जो भी हरकतें हैं हरकत हुई पड़ी है। तो उसके बाद जब जाके बच्चे ने कल 4:30-5 बजे मुंह खोला, मैं ड्यूटी से वापस आके फिर मैंने ये कार्रवाई शुरू की है। ये 2 बच्चे भी अपने बच्चे ले जाके वो खुद साथ में गया, वहाँ जाके उसने दलील हरकत की।
Bharti Ali of the Haq Center for Child Rights joins me on the phone line. Bharti, 8-year-old girl raped in a park where she had gone to play. Clearly no place is safe anymore for our children.
There are no safe spaces left for children, if you look at the whole situation in the country today, and particularly in cities like Delhi. The parks, of course, are no longer safer for children, but at the same time, it's very important to ensure that our children do go out to play and are not succumbing to the online safety issues. So we have to have some mechanisms in place to keep a vigil. And the best way is to educate people on this and to get them to start talking about this issue. I still see a lot of people who would want the issue to be addressed, but when it comes to taking action on it, people back out. So the initiative will have to come from each one of us as part of the same society, the same nation, who want to protect children. It's very easy for children to trust people. We must understand that. We don't want children to become distrusting of everybody under the sun. We at least need to teach them on how to be cautious and how to just keep themselves safe. But that does not mean that the entire responsibility has to shift to children. So as adults, only when we start taking the correct steps, like I truly appreciate this parent who has, shown the courage to report and talk about it. Unless we start reporting and start supporting children who report abuse, it will be very difficult. I see a lot of landlords asking their tenants to move out just because the tenant's child has been raped. That attitude must change.
Right, Bharti, and also the fact, like you rightfully pointed out, it's very essential to actually start talking about these issues, and the fact that the parent has gone and filed a complaint because the accused was allegedly known to this family.
Right, and in most cases you will see, even the NCRB statistics is constantly telling us that the accused are often known to the victim. And therefore, the whole issue of distrust has to be very delicately dealt with. And we need to also educate parents that, unfortunately, but today we've reached a situation where we will have to learn to draw lines somewhere, in our interactions. The language we use, the kind of interactions we keep. I understand it's very difficult for families who are struggling to meet both ends meet, They have to find ways of keeping their children with somebody while they are away at work. Or if the mother has to go out to buy some groceries, she doesn't know where to leave the child. So she will, interact and build these relationships in the neighborhood. But the message to every neighbor that you give then has to be that, I'm not the kind who's going to tolerate nonsense.
Right. Bharti, also one other thing that I wanted to ask you, of course here the man did get caught, but for every rapist who is caught, who is apprehended, there are many others who are still roaming our streets, which makes it all the more unsafe for our children. In cases like that, would you agree that, especially in places like parks and playgrounds, we probably need more CCTV coverage, we need some kind of security, so there is someone watching at what is going on in these places?
Yes, there has to be some form of CCTV coverage in public places. There's no doubt about that. But you see, any amount of CCTV coverage will not help if people basically don't come forward and support of others who report and have the courage to report. The others have to create a more conducive environment, for the survivors. At the same time, the response from both the police and the courts has to improve. There's no doubt about that. While our courts are trying to follow the tenets of the POCSO Act, if you look at the court records, they show that the rate of acquittal is very high because the witnesses turn hostile. So my entire focus would be on, witnesses who will stand by and not be afraid of the court system. The court system in these cases now has become very, very witness-friendly. And maybe the legal services authorities need to make a little more effort to send that message to people that the system now has become very witness-friendly.
Right.
So that people are encouraged to come forward.
Actually go and report these cases, right.
Yes.
Right, Bharti, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective. 8-year-old girl who went to play in a park, allegedly raped, this again by someone who was known to her family. Moving on to Darjeeling now, fresh violence has rocked the hill town. The unrest over the demand for Gorkha land has also affected train services in North Bengal. In Jalpaiguri, train services have come to a complete halt. As Jalpaiguri is also the gateway to Assam, train services to Assam also have been disrupted. Trains from south to Assam passing have also been affected. Early on Saturday, 2 people were killed in clashes between the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha and security forces. On Sunday, of course, the activists took their demand for Gorkha land to the national capital. More paramilitary forces have now been deployed in the hill town.
Lives have been hit really hard. The West Bengal government is trying to ensure that the protest calms down right now, really, and in its bid to just try and serve as a deterrent, it seems that the West Bengal government has stopped any trucks which could supply food and the basic supplies to this area, and that seems to be the issue right here. As you can see, all these shops are closed. Empty trucks are going in and around the area, but at the same time, the shops are closed. There are the basic necessities like bread and milk are not available to people very easily. They are struggling when it comes to everyday life. Posters have come up across all shops, all shutters of these shops and business houses, wherein the support and protest for Gorkha land continues. But at the same time, life has really been hit hard. Right now, we're given to understand that several companies of military and paramilitary forces are currently deployed here in Darjeeling. The government is trying to ensure that violence does not spread once again in this hill town of Darjeeling. It is trying to ensure that there are no more casualties in the protest which has been going on for a month now. At the same time, it must also be mentioned that the protesters and the citizens of Darjeeling are very adamant. They say that they will not rest until and unless their demands are met with. They are continuing their protest. They say that they will continue until and unless the government succumbs to their demands, meets their demands of a separate Gorkha land. Currently, we're given to understand that the umbrella body of the Gorkha Land Coordination Committee has also called in a new, fresh meeting tomorrow, and it is likely to be decided as to how the movement would be taken forward. But right now it seems that the protest is currently on, and it would be interesting to see as to what happens next.
समस्या ये है, अलीपुरद्वार डिवीजन के अंतर्गत एक स्टेशन आता है बासु गांव, जहां पे आकरासू ऑल असम कोच राजवंशी स्टूडेंट्स यूनियन का बंद है उनके कुछ डिमांड्स को लेके, तो जिसकी वजह से काफ़ी स्टेशनों पे गाड़ियां रुक गई हैं। लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन कंट्रोल में है, लेकिन स्टेशन से अभी आदमी हटा नहीं है, तो एज ए सिक्योरिटी मेजर हम लोग ट्रेन जगह जगह कंट्रोल करके चला रहे हैं।
अभी तो पता नहीं, कोई बोला आंदोलन हो रहा है, अनाहन चल रहा है, इसलिए बहुत घंटा हो गया अभी तक बन रहा है। बहुत पेशेंट भी है, अभी बीमारी पेशेंट है, बहुत दिक्कत हो रहा है।
तो रेलवे से कोई सूचना नहीं दिया जा?
नहीं, क्या नहीं,
कब छोड़ेगा, क्यों
नहीं बोला है, पता ही नहीं कब छोड़ेगा।
Moving on to the other big story that we've been tracking on Mirror now. Times Network has accessed the confession letter of Junaid's attacker. In the confession statement, the suspect revealed how prejudice and hate forced a crowd to attack Junaid and others. The suspect admits that Junaid and others were abused in the name of religion and attacked. Admitting that the victims were attacked first, the suspect confessed that the crowd forced them to change the coach. Junaid and his brothers were on board a Mathura-bound train when 16-year-old Junaid was stabbed last month. Now, the main accused in Junaid's murder was arrested in Dhule, Maharashtra, and remanded to 2 days in police custody. Meanwhile, parents of Junaid have demanded that the accused be given a death sentence. Listen in.
सरकार से डिमांड यही होगी, इनको फांसी लग जाए तो अच्छा होगा दूसरे लोगों को, ताकि ऐसा ना हो। दहशत लोगों में आ जाएगी कि भाई ऐसा काम ना करें।
पकड़ तो लिया है पुलिस ने, लेकिन हम चाहते हैं सबको फांसी है उनको, और जब तक फांसी नहीं मिलेगी जब तक हम चैन से नहीं बैठेंगे। अभी तक कुछ भी नहीं मिला, अभी तक खाली पकड़ा गया हूँ। हम चाहते हैं उनको फांसी हो, फांसी बस, और कुछ नहीं, फांसी चाहते हैं।
डिमांड तो ये है कि उसको सज़ा मिलनी चाहिए, सज़ा जहाँ तक हो सके कड़ी से कड़ी, ये फांसी होनी चाहिए उसको, कि आगे से लोगों को नसीहत हो जाए, कोई लोग किसी को ना मार पाए, ऐसे ना जाए किसी को ना सताएं, तो लोगों को दिलों में खौफ हो जाएगा कि कानून है।
उम्मीद तो ये है कि सबको पकड़ेगी पुलिस हमें, और ना पकड़ेगी तो उसके बाद सोचा जाएगा क्या करना।
A poverty-hit mother sold her own newborn baby girl for 5,000 rupees in the Khammam district of Telangana. The newborn was the 6th child of this woman. Unable to bear the expenses anymore, she took the decision to sell the child to a middle-aged woman from Chatakonda. Using a sweeper as a broker, she sold it to this woman. The security guards of the hospital grew suspicious and informed the police about the incident. The baby was traced by the police and then shifted to the hospital.
బయటికి తీసుకొని రా పిల్లని తీసుకొని పోతాం డబ్బులు ఇచ్చి నీ చేతిలో పెట్టి పిల్లని తీసుకొని పోతాం అని చెప్పి అని అన్నారు అంటే నేను టీకాలు వేపిద్దామని చెప్పి నేను పోయినా టీకాలు వేపిద్దామని చెప్పి నేను పోయేసరికి టీకాలు ఏం లేవు పిల్లని మేము తీసుకుపోతాం నీకెందుకు పిల్లగాళ్ళు ఉన్న పిల్లగాళ్ళని చదువుకో అది ఇది అని చెప్పి అన్నారు అంటే నేను అన్నా కదా నా నోట్లో మన్ను పోసుకొని ఆ డబ్బులు తీసుకొని దగ్గర పెట్టుకున్నా
అసలు అమ్మటం ఏంది అమ్మాల్సినంత అవసరం ఏందని చెప్పేసి బయటికి వరండా దగ్గర తీసుకొచ్చి కూర్చోబెట్టేసి గట్టిగా అడిగితే నాకు 5 ఆడపిల్లలు ఒక పాపని ఒంట్లో బాగాలేకపోతే అడ్మిషన్ చేయించా నిన్న సాయంత్రం 4 గంటలకు నేను డెలివరీ కావడం జరిగింది ఇక్కడే అడ్మిషన్ అయి ఉన్నాను డెలివరీ అయిన పాపని 5,000 రూపాయలకి అమ్మడం జరిగింది 20,000 రూపాయలు అని చెప్పేసి మాట్లాడారు 5,000 ఇచ్చారు వాళ్ళు 5,000 తీసుకున్నారంటే మీకు మధ్యలో ఎవరున్నారమ్మా ఎవరి ద్వారా అమ్మారు అంటే ఇక్కడ చీపర్గా పనిచేస్తుందని చెప్పేసి జ్యోతి అనే ఆమె పేరు చెప్పడం జరిగింది
మాకు ఒక అమ్మాయి కావాలని వచ్చినాం మేము అని నేను అన్నా అంటే మాకు తెలిసిన ఒక కాలు చెయ్యి అవుడుంది ఆమెకి ఆమె ఇస్తానంటే సాదుకోండి అమ్మ ఆమెకంటే కబురు చేస్తా అన్నది అయితే ఆమె కబురు చేసింది నాకు ఫోన్ చేస్తే నేను వచ్చి అడిగమ్మా నేను సాదుకుంటామ్మా నీ బిడ్డని మంచి పొజిషన్లో జాగ్రత్త నువ్వు జాగలేవు అని నేను అన్నా అంటే వాళ్ళు చుట్టుపక్కల వాళ్ళందరూ అన్నారు కదా మంచిగా సాదుకుంటుంటుంది కదమ్మా నీ కూతుర్ని నువ్వున్న సాధలేవు రోడ్ల మీద అడుక్కొని తినాల్సి వస్తుంది ఈ అమ్మ అని వాళ్ళందరూ అన్నారు అంటే ఇత్తమ్మ నా పిల్లని అని అన్నారు.
Paul joins me from Hyderabad with more details on the story. Paul, shocking incident that a woman has been reduced to selling her newborn baby, all because she cannot sustain that child, she cannot support that child, she's run out of money. But the bigger question here, the sweeper who was brokering the deal, has the sweeper been apprehended?
Well, absolutely. In fact, it's a shocking case from Khammam in Telangana. And regarding the sweeper, the question that you asked, I have no information about whether any action has been taken against him. But the fact remains that the mother of the child herself asked the sweeper to actually sell off the baby. And the sweeper was only acting as a broker. We haven't heard from district medical health officer regarding any action against the sweeper. But for now, all we know is that the child has been shifted to the ICDS, that is Child Development Services. Officials have taken over the child and they will be moving the child to another orphanage or a care home where the child will be taken care of because the mother herself did not want the kid and tried to sell the baby off. Hence, they have decided to send the child off to a home.
Right, but what about this mother? She says that she has 5 children, she is poverty-stricken. Is she going to get any sort of help?
We have no information regarding that, Kavita. All that we know is that yes, the mother had 5 children before this baby girl. This was the 6th child and her husband is a rickshaw puller. And according to the mother, the husband only drinks and comes home each day and spends all the money that the lady earns. So she says the 6th child is a burden for the family and she did this only because she could raise some easy money for the family. In fact, she had asked the lady, it was an old lady from Bhadrachalam who had actually agreed to buy the baby from the mother and it was 20,000 that the young lady asked in return for the baby, but a deal was struck with the help of the watchman for rupees 5,000 and the baby was sold. In fact, the old lady who wanted a grandchild actually bought the child and went away to Bhadrachalam and it was when the cops got an air of the case that they actually called up the Bhadrachalam lady and asked her to return the baby, who actually came back to the hospital and returned the baby to the rightful owner, the mother of the baby, and it was after that the ICDS officials actually took over the baby.
Right, Paul, thank you for getting us those details. Shocking incident there coming in from Telangana where a woman sold her own newborn baby daughter because she didn't have the money to take care of the child. Another shocking incident from Bharatpur. A toddler has been allegedly trampled to death by police during a raid on Monday morning. Policemen jumped into the courtyard of the house from the roof and allegedly trampled a child who was sleeping on a cot. This happened when policemen from 3 nearby police stations raided the village to nab an absconding criminal, Nasru Khan. The child in question belonged to Nasru Khan's sister-in-law. They are now protesting against the police, demanding that the police register an FIR. Arvind joins me on the phone line with more details on this. Arvind, have the police registered a case?
Not yet. No FIR has been registered yet, but the administration has assured the family members that an FIR would be registered after the postmortem report of the toddler comes. The postmortem of the toddler has already been conducted by a medical board there in Kama in Bharatpur district. This incident happened around 5 o'clock in the morning today when policemen from three different police stations formed a team to nab Nasru Khan, who's been an absconding criminal of Virar village in Kama police station area. But when police reached there, they climbed onto the roof of his house and jumped into the courtyard. And in that skirmish, they have allegedly trampled this toddler which was sleeping there with his mom in the cot. After the incident, the family members and the members of the Mayo community has reached the police station and they vehemently protest to file an FIR of murder of the child by the police team. But now the administrative authorities have assured the family that once the postmortem report of the child comes to the administration, proper action would be taken.
Right. Arvind, the police apparently have refuted the claims. The Deputy Superintendent of Police is on record saying that the child was already dead and the child apparently died the previous night.
Yes, the police is claiming that thing that the child had already died previous night and the family has not told anything. But this is now a matter of investigation because it was what family member and eyewitnesses from the villages are saying that if child would have died in last evening, only family would have been grieving and not sleeping at that night when police raid the house in wee hours. So it is a matter of investigation now, but the family members have been assured by the district administration that an FIR would be registered after the postmortem reports comes by.
Right, Arvind, thank you for those details. The family, of course, like Arvind just pointed out, has been assured that an FIR will be registered once the postmortem report has been released by the hospital. Postmortem has been conducted on that toddler. Let's also listen into what the police had to say and what the family of this baby had to say earlier during the day.
और उन्होंने बच्चे पहले पकड़ लिया, उसके बाद दोबारा घुसे अंदर और बच्चा पड़ी थी घर के अंदर। तो वो बच्चा जब पड़ी थी तो वो बच्चे को ऊपर पैर रख दिया तो बच्चा खत्म हो चुका। और पुलिस वाले 2-3 जो है खानदार के साथ थे, अंदर घुसे जब तो इसलिए मतलब बच्चे की मौत हुई। हमारी मांग ये है कि हमारे नाजायज जो हमारे संबंध हो रहे हैं हमारे साथ मुलजिम को पकड़ो, हम नहीं करना मना करते, लेकिन नाजायज पकड़े उसको कोई मुलजिम नहीं, कुछ नहीं, उसके पिताजी भी नहीं। तो बच्चे
आज सुबह करीब 5 बजे के आसपास हमने दबिश दी थी। नखरू नाम का बदमाश है जिसके खिलाफ लूट के और डकैती के कई मुकदमे हैं, उसके काला वगैरह उनके खिलाफ भी मुकदमे हैं, उनके यहाँ दबिश दी गई थी। तो नखरू तो मौके से भाग गया था, वहाँ से उसके एक साले को पकड़ा था हमने, तो पकड़ के लाए हैं, तो वो हमारे वांछित है। और जैसे कि आरोप लगा रहे हैं कि बच्चे का बारे में ये हमारे पास कोई जानकारी नहीं थी पहले से, और ये सामने आया कि बच्चा 7 माह तब जब बच्चा पैदा होता है उसी बच्चा पैदा हुआ और रात को ख़त्म हो गया। पुलिस में इसमें पुलिस का कोई रोल नहीं है, किसी को ध्यान नहीं है।
Bengali film actor Vikram Chatterjee was produced in court today. On Friday, of course, he was sent to 2-day police custody. To give you some background, the accident happened around 3 a.m. on April 29th when Vikram and Sonika Chauhan were returning from a late-night party. The car veered out of control and hit the pavement. Sonika was rushed to hospital where she was declared dead. Shreyoshi joins me on the phone line. Shreyoshi, the last time we spoke, you told us that Vikram Chatterjee had just been produced in court. What happened in court today?
That's right. Actor Vikram Chatterjee currently is in Alipur court. He has been produced. The order is reserved. We will find out shortly what the court really, whether the court really extends his police custody. He was earlier put into 3 days police custody after he was arrested on Friday early morning from outside a mall in Kolkata, where Kolkata police arrested him, and then he was immediately taken to Tollygunge police station. Police sources have also told us that Vikram Chatterjee today earlier in the morning, between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. was taken back to the spot where the accident happened, and he was made to recall what actually unfolded on the day Sonika Chauhan's accident took place, when he was driving the luxury car in which both the actor and the model were traveling back from a party. Right now the court is hearing the matter. He was put on a 3-day police custody on Friday, and today the police custody ends, and we will find out shortly whether the court prolongs the police custody or sends him on a judicial custody. Because remember, he has been charged on a non-bailable section of 304, which is culpable homicide not amounting to murder of the IPC. So he's charged in the non-bailable section. So a bail for him right now looks very difficult. So we have to wait and watch whether his police custody gets extended or whether he will get judicial custody.
Right, Shreyashi, this of course comes after quite a long haul, 69 days in fact, when the police was in fact accused of inaction in this particular case of shielding Vikram Chatterjee. There was also an issue with the sample that they collected from Vikram Chatterjee for blood alcohol analysis.
That's right. The forensic laboratory 2 weeks ago said that the blood samples they received to determine whether Vikram Chatterjee was drunk at the time of the accident is not sufficient enough to perform the tests. So the hospital in question said that they do not have enough blood sample, which was the prerogative of the Kolkata police to hand over because the probe is under them. So the forensic laboratory could not judge with just 5 ml of blood sample whether Vikram was drunk behind the wheels. And there have been several other lapses. We've even seen on May 7th when Vikram Chatterjee addressed a news conference after the accident, where he said he was not drinking, he was not speed driving. But soon after, we did access reports and eyewitness accounts. In the eyewitness accounts, of course, very clearly the friends
right.
of Sonika.
Right, Shreyashi, thank you very much for those details. We will, of course, keep getting you updates on that story. But that's all the time that we have on the show right now. Stay with Mirror Now for more news and updates.